Okay, welcome to your first Latin video about how to do actual Latin. And today we're going to work on pronouncing the Latin. Now you can see at the top here that I have the address that this worksheet comes from, so you can enter that into your browser, and then you can see this for yourself. First thing we need to know is that there are certain letters that are not really in Latin. J we'll get to below, that's really an I. K is so rare, it's basically the same as a C, but you only see it in words like Punic words like Carthage. Its sound is going to be covered by our V, but the letter W didn't come about till like way later, like the 800s, I think. Y is rare, it's from the Greek upsilon, so you pronounce Y almost like a U. You can watch some other YouTube video on how to pronounce Y, but it's so rare. It's basically like a French U. And then Z is like Z. It's basically azimuth, for example. All right, but the main thing that you need to know, that you really need to concentrate on, are the vowels. And you can see that there are long vowels, which have a macron over them, and short vowels, which don't. So the bar over it is a macron. And so the difference between long A and short A is that long A, you open your mouth all the way. Ah! Whereas in short A, it's just like atomic. Father. Okay, so let's do some examples. Mater, gratias, clamat, vila versus pater, quatuor, salve, taberna. All right, so we're going to see over and over that putting a long mark or a macron over a vowel will do two things. First, it will make the vowel a hard sound. And we will see that in this next line. You haven't experienced it yet. But the second thing it will do is that it will extend the length in time of the vowel for a space of two, like a half note, rather than an eighth note. Now, technically, it should be twice the length. These longs should be twice the length of the short, but you can exaggerate it even more and it'll sound great. So you can make it like this is a half note and this is an eighth note if you want. Who cares? All right, so, but the second thing that the long mark does is it makes it a hard sound, and we're going to hear that here in the E and I and O, U, most especially. So E is a hard sound, A, long E, whereas short E is just as in they and pet. So this would be salvete, tres, cana, hodie, versus bene, septem, vehementer. So e is how this is going to go. Little old I, like tibi, miki, nawis, ita, widit, is different from long I, as in quinque, filius, scribit. So this I is like you hear I in machine, whereas this I is just like short I in pin. All right, what about O? O. Octo, novem, portus, hodie. So versus known, octo, leo, mons, nomen. So this is short O like an org or off. You know, it almost disappears completely. It's basically a schwa sound, which is basically an It's basically an versus this O really has the distinctive O sound. Clover, known, octo. And last off, U, as in put versus long U, as in rude. So ut, unda, lina, uxor, ululawit versus unus, undecim, tu. That's the word for you. Salutat. All right, so Mr. Redmond, how am I going to memorize this? Well, these are easy. The shorts, it's as short as you could possibly imagine. So you don't need to memorize those. But the way you memorize these is they're exactly the same as the vowels in Spanish. So have you ever heard the song on, what's it, Sesame Street? A-E-I-O-U. Perfect. You say that in Latin, and you got it. All right, so that's the vowels. Next thing, the consonants are pretty standard, what you would expect, but there are a few changes. C and G are always hard, as in cat and gas. Never soft, as in peace or agent. Peace or agent. Okay, so culina, canis, not salina or sanis. No. And ago, gustat, not agio or justat. No. Sounds awful. All right, so, and it's also never a H sound like in Spanish. A gente. No. It's g. All right, I is normally a vowel, but if I occurs in the start of a word or in between two vowels, then I is a consonant till J. It's really a J. So for instance, yakit, you'll see that Latin word, is really yakit, like that. Or if you saw a yakit, like that. Because it's in between two vowels here, or here it starts the word. So that's the way it goes. Alrighty, so what else? Q is always followed by U. That's normal. R, you can trill it. Ra. Puercos, the word for oak tree. S is always going to be soft and smooth as silk. You are never going to make a hard Z sound like rose. No, you don't want to hear vibration. Rose. No, you want to hear it like in C. Salve, senex, soft as silk. T is short, sweet, and to the point. You're not going to smack your lips. You're not going to make a ch or a ts sound like Italians would say. No, you're going to say nationem. It's so short and you almost don't even hear it. Mentionem. You're not going to say Italian nationem with a TS, no. Or you're not going to say nation with a SH, no. It's just nationem. V is the neat thing. It's a W sound. In fact, U and V are the same letter up until like 200 BC. So, for instance, if we had the Latin word, can you read this word? That's what it is. Vacuum. Vacuum. So this one became V. This one became long U. And this one became short U. Vacuum. Vacuum is where we get that. Okay, so V is always a W sound. And you can always hear it, that in ancient times it would have been W. So vacuum. Vacuum became with time vacuum. Vacuum. So that's how the U got this W sound. Vacuum. So U in ancient times was originally a U, as in vacuum. Or with time it became vacuum. So the first U became a consonant with a W sound, and the last two U's became vowels. Vacuum. So that's kind of neat that U is the source of both consonants and two kinds of U's, but of course you would always spell it like this, even though you're pronouncing it like that. All right? So that's kind of neat how U became three separate letters with time. All right, what else? The last three are all from Greek, and the H, the effect of H is to just give you a forceful breath of air. That's called aspirating it, or really expressing it with a burst of air. So, but other than that, CH is just like C, and PH is just like P, and TH is just like T. It's just that you get an extra breath of air. So we're not going to do a ch sound, and we're not going to do a F sound, and we're not going to do a TH sound. No, none of that. We're just going to do our standard CPT, but with extra air. So, oker, carta. Can you hear the breath coming out of my mouth? Carta, carta, hocer, architectus. So, and then up here, ampora, amphitheatrum, amphitheatrum, or teatrum, termi. So it's just like overdoing it. So note well. Next up it says, the Romans produced double consonants as separate consonants. So when you have a double consonant, you want to separate them up into separate syllables. So the second syllable would be tent, and the first syllable would be admit. So the way you'd say it is mit. So it would be admit tent. Okay? Now you know, don't you, every syllable has a vowel in the middle of it. So when you count the vowels, 1, 2, 3, you know you're going to have 3 syllables. You just have to decide where are you going to divide them up. So the way it goes is if there are 2 consonants, they go separate directions. But if there's only 1 consonant, it always goes with the next vowel ahead. So the D here will go with the U after it, not the I before it. Same with the L, will go with the li, not al. So kalidus, kalidus is how you would say it. Of course, if you had 2 L's, then they go separate directions. So kalidus, kalidus versus kalidus. So isn't that neat? That's nice. Next up, diphthongs. A diphthong comes from di, to, thongs, sounds. So a diphthong is 2 sounds that became 1. So the first one, AE, is no longer that. It's actually just a single sound, I. And to let you know that it's not real, it's really just like 1 letter. To let you know that this thing is really the way it is. Some places will even write it like this, or like that, and if it's capitalized. So 1 letter, not 2 letters. Okay, so let's keep going. Ow, as in out, Paulis pair. Next up, EI is just like a long E, pretty much. There's a little difference. You kind of extend it out a little more as EI than you would with long E. Deinde. But you can hear that sounds pretty similar to trace. A trace versus deinde. Deinde. It's almost like AE, like long E and long I. Deinde. Whereas up here it's almost like just long E. But really they're so similar, I wouldn't object if you just pronounced it like a long E. Okay, U is rare. U, okay. Europa, the continent of Europa. If you feel bad, you could say Heu, Heu, U, or Ehu, Eheu. Oh no. Okay. Oi is common. Oipit. Oipit. And then last off, UI is rare, but huius, it's like gooey. Huius, but even this, it sounds like a short U and then a long I. Huius, huyus, uy, or hui, hui. So those are diphthongs. So now you know your consonants, you know your vowels, and you know your diphthongs, and that's 90%. No, it's 99% of everything. But syllables are a different kind of thing. So syllables are also another level to add on top, which will enable you to pronounce the words even better yet. So we already talked about how two consonants will go different directions, like you see right there, whereas one consonant will go to the next vowel, as you see right there. So we already did all that. Anything else? There's one little exception. A liquid like L or R, when combined with an explosive or plosive like PT, the consonants in PT cabbage, PT, CB, DG, PT. So if you have fire with water, they combine and become just one. A liquid water with a explosive fire, the two combine and become just one consonant. So you would think these would separate and go different directions, pot, trem, but really no, they count as one consonant and they both go forward. Pot, trem, like that. And you can hear that in your ear. You say TR so fast it's like one consonant. So patrum, Gricola, there's another explosive with a liquid. So yeah, those are PT cabbage, or cabbage pot is the way you can remember that. Cabbage pot, left, right. So if you have any combination of anything from the cabbage pot with left or right, then it's going to count as one consonant, not two. Most of the time. Sometimes it does count as two. So I guess we should say that it could go either way. That's a variable, and you don't know. So, amphitheatrum. There's one right there. Okay. But, yeah, right. All right, last up. Which syllable do you accent? The last syllable, which is called the ultima, is never accented. So you would never accent trum. Never, ever. The second to last syllable, however, which is called the penult, from pen before, or almost is what it means. So it's almost the ultimate, but it's not quite. It's the one before the ultimate. That gets the accent if it is long. Now, how are you going to make it long? Well, if it has a vowel over it, it's long. If it is a diphthong, it's long. Or if it has two consonants after it, it's long. Because when the two consonants split, the effect of them splitting is they make the one before it be long. So, the L will become long. Why? Not because it's got a long mark over it, it doesn't. Not because it's a diphthong, it doesn't. But because it has two consonants after it. So, puella. Okay. So, if the second to last syllable is long, now this isn't a vowel becoming long, this is a whole syllable being long. By one of those three ways, long mark over it, diphthong, or two consonants following it, then it gets the accent. And you can raise your voice there. Puella, if you want. Now, I have a different system that you'll learn later where you're actually raising your voice on the ending. So that's my doing later. But this is the standard system that most Latin teachers will teach you. That you want to accent, and if you want, you could even raise your voice. But really, it's a stress accent. So you just push emphasis is really the right way to do it. Puella. Salvete on the second to last. Tablinum, and you can see this tiny little mark here. That marky thing is a symbol of the accent, which syllable got the accent. However, if the second to last syllable is short, like in grati, you know, this doesn't have a long mark over it, isn't a diphthong, and it doesn't have two consonants after it, then it doesn't get the accent, and the accent falls all the way back to the third to last, which is called the antepenult. So, gratias, quatuor, undecim, triclinium. See, that one had four syllables, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the third to last was clinium. Triclinium. Why? Because the n was short. So that's how you phrase it. So now you know not only how to pronounce the letters, but you also know how to phrase it. And that's how to do a good Latin teacher. And this is as good pretty much as 99% of the Latin speakers in the world will ever get. Now, there is a later system, Church Latin or Medieval Latin, will change this a bit. But that's not what we're doing in this course. And if you hear me saying it by accidentally saying like s or ch, like chena, I made a mistake. That would be Church Latin, Medieval Latin. That's not the real thing. So we're not going to do that. But anyways, have a good day and practice that Latin.